Hello everybody, this is JP3 here, continuing our Halo 2 Legendary Deathless, Painless series. Now we're looking at Delta Halo. We're going to give it a nice, long, wonderful look. One of my absolute favorite missions, the entirety of the Halo Pantheon. We're throwing the Iron Skull on as usual. Also got some Grunt Birthday Party, some I Would Have Been Your Daddy, just to kind of liven things up. With the voices and all that stuff, some of the funny lines they'll say. But in all reality, we're going to have to get to work pretty fast here because Delta Halo's got a lot of difficult parts in it for Legendary. I will say, though, that my main focus, the heart of my, I guess, kind of strategy really involves the later part of the mission, off the rock, through the bush, nothing but Jackal. But I'll try to give you a little bit of insight into some of my thinking during the other parts of the level too that can also be pretty trying as well. I want to go right ahead and give a shout out to HokeyBird428 for one of the strategies that that I am watching one of his videos for this on Legendary that I use that involves dealing with the Jackal sniper. I'll explain it, but that's something definitely the least I guess, or the most safe method, the least dangerous one that I've ever seen. But you want to start right out and do exactly kind of what I did there. Focus on that turret that's right above, then look at the next turret or the Jackal. You definitely want to get rid of those pretty fast, and then immediately and as quickly as possible get rid of these grunts before they start grenading your position, taking out your Marines, which you really want to keep them alive at least for the early portions of this and hopefully for later on. We won't get them for later on, so there's a couple things that don't go perfectly with this with Delta Halo, but you'll see how I handle it. And hopefully it'll provide a little bit of a guide for what to do when some things go wrong. So hopefully this is the last enemy you take out. Once you do that, Peril, the classic song from Halo 2 starts. As soon as you shoot one of these enemies, the Jackal sniper will appear. You switch to your rocket launcher. When you see the red reticle, you fire it. You see the score. If he's dead, then great. You've done a wonderful job. That usually happens about 80% of the time. He doesn't always show up sometimes right away. Sometimes he shoots you before you shoot him, but that works a lot of the time. If it doesn't, well, who cares? You're only about a minute in the mission anyway. Make sure you pick up some plasma pistols and have some ready to take care of these elites, but I like to focus as much as I can on the grunts first because they're ones that will throw grenades and end the life of your Marines pretty quickly. So I like to get rid of them first. And then, of course, now we're going to focus on the elites. We get a rare kill there with a de-shielded elite with splash damage from a frag grenade. Nice to get one over there and get a kill that away. And if you can see here, there's a lot of grunts around. There's two more elites inside here, so we definitely want to take care of them as well. That ends up being one of our mistakes. And as you can see there too, how quickly it is, how easily your shields go down in this game, just with a handful of shots as we're going into cover. So you definitely want to be careful. Now this guy here is the one that provides us with a kink in our plan. So at some point, I want to go ahead and hand off the rocket launcher to a Marine before he dies. The reason why I do this is because hopefully he'll take it and use it against the turrets. Once this goes from a base storming to a base defense, you'll see the Phantoms come in. Hopefully he'll have the rocket launcher take care of the turrets for you and make it a lot easier to focus on the enemies. However, if he dies at any given point, especially if he dies early, if you pick up the rocket launcher, it usually has more rockets in it. So you get a couple extra rockets, which you'll need to then take out the turrets. But I usually like to stay pretty far away from him because he will blow you and or himself up pretty quickly and pretty easily. So, you know, whether it's hitting the geometry, trying to hit the enemies, shooting you directly, trying to hit the enemies, or, I don't know, just trying to betray you for all I know. You definitely have to be very careful about how far you stay away, or where he is in relation to where you're at. That doesn't mean anything. Whenever she says that, that usually means that you've pushed up to a certain point and you've gotten rid of all the turrets. There can still be enemies left over. I'm looking for the elite that I do believe is still alive, but it's almost too late now to spend a lot of time looking for him because the Phantom is coming. And again, usually I'm thinking by this time, well, the elite's going to come out and I'm either going to kill him or he's going to kill me. Again, we're only about less than 4 minutes into the mission, so I come on up here and get ready, and then I see the red reticle down there. I'm sorry, the red dot on my minimap down there. And I believe that's the elite tangling with my Marine, and I believe the Marine loses leaving us with, yes. So he gets his just desserts, but they're already dropping enemies. Be sure and pick up the sniper rifle that the developers don't leave for you. Pick up the one that the Jackal drops if at all possible, because it will disappear if you don't. And the difference between having 1 and 2 sniper rifles in this area is pretty big. Now notice he didn't take out any of the turrets, but we get lucky and they don't focus too heavily on us. But now we've got enemies that are scattered everywhere, so this is going to take a little bit longer than if we had focused on the turrets and then the enemies, or if our Marine had focused on the turrets. But instead he was focused on taking down an elite that was hiding like a coward. I hear a charged plasma pistol, so I know at least one of the... Oh, and there goes the elite with the carbine. So we're going to see if we can snipe him. Because obviously he is very dangerous. So in order to goose these guys out, especially non-elites, you usually can shoot or throw grenades. I threw that grenade because I see the red dot right below my minimap, and I was hoping that maybe it would get a kill there for me, but the BR will do is just fine. Now in this case, the other Phantom will not show up until all the enemies are dead. It might show up before that, but only if you've taken a lot of time to try to kill these enemies. So notice we still had the 2 elites left. They were kind of hiding out, and we had the grunts down there. So it looks as if that's it. So I'm going to quickly try to go down here and get cover, and I'm hoping to maybe get some ammo for the battle rifle. But I don't think we'll have time. And so I'm going to come back up here, grab this rocket launcher because I don't know where his is at. The Marine who dropped it. And I'm going to take out at least 2 of these turrets, but I really want to conserve the rocket launcher for the final Phantom, because there is a 3rd Phantom on Legendary, and I want to conserve at least 1 rocket so I can have Rocket Hog going in the next section. If you don't have Rocket Hog going in the next section, it's probably best just to restart. So we get a much better chance to start hurting these enemies, and these, as a result, we take them down pretty fast. And since there's only 1 turret firing at us, we're a little bit safer than we normally would be. Normally I would not advise trying to fend off the turrets. I think that's all of them. Let's see, we took out the Jackals pretty fast, and so I don't know if I did a count there when I was playing or not, or if I just was willing to take the risk. But I immediately go down and make sure I get the BR ammo, just in case I need it. And then I also come over here and grab this 100 fresh beam rifle. And so now I'm going to use the rocket launcher and take out, I can only take out 2 of the 3 turrets, and that does make a big difference, of course. And the reason why that makes a difference is I can't be nearly as confident over here in taking out these. I have to stand behind this tree, whereas normally I'd just stand right front and center and be ready to take at least 2 of these cloaked elites out. Sometimes I can get all 3 of them. You really want to focus on the plasma rifle elites. But notice how, again, we... that may have just been that I just didn't have quite the requisite skill in that moment to take them both out at the same time. But I'm pretty sure I got shot pretty fast there and was scoped out. And as you can see, in Halo 2, the elites are just as accurate with that plasma rifle as they would be if they had a sniper rifle. There's a pure, beautiful straight line, as you can see there, where they want to shoot. I did see it overcharged there, but not overcharged, but overheat. So notice here, I'm just, thank God I've got a full beam rifle here, but we finally catch him off guard. So now we've got the sword elite left over, which really isn't that big of a deal to deal with. I'm looking to see if I can see him. You won't see a red dot. Oh, and there he is right there. Beautiful. So I know exactly where he's going. So as soon as he runs inside there, I'm just going to jump down here and goad him into charging if he will. He doesn't. I snipe him twice there, but I'm hitting him in the back, so it's not really doing enough damage. Usually they're pretty brave, but not this guy. He was about to charge. Notice how I don't really care about the grenades that much. It doesn't matter. And so now that he's down, we've got the ruins defense part of this mission over with, which can be one of the more difficult parts. Fortunately, when the more difficult parts are at the first, it's okay. We can restart without too much investment in the mission. And I find his rocket launcher. It was down there. So I didn't have to worry as much as I did. Or I think that was his rocket launcher. So we've got a little bit of time to wait, and so what I tend to do is kind of scrounge around for grenades. Notice how, you know, just by running over that one area where the drop pod hit, I filled up with human grenades, the frag grenades, pretty fast, and then also got some plasma grenades. This is one of the things I really miss about future Halos, is when Halo 1 and 2, you can almost always find grenades, and of course you can carry 8 at a time, almost at all times, it seemed like. Something they really stopped at, say, Halo 3. A lot of times I felt in that game I was only carrying about 4 grenades on average at a time, or could only carry 4 grenades. Every once in a while you get up to 6, or maybe even lucky enough to get 8, and it was cool that they diversified at least one of the grenades with the fire bombs, but those were so rare that I'd much rather have just 4 frags and 4 plasmas, to be honest with you, and to have them be relatively available. So they get on in the wrong order. You definitely want to make sure the rocket guy is in the passenger seat. I'll watch my hands, don't worry. Alright, so for these snipers, unfortunately we do not play a lot of this mission in the new graphics. So for these snipers, you just charge them head on and make sure that you don't have the driver's side facing where they are shooting, which is pretty easy to do since they're mostly in front of you and on the left as you drive in. So pretty easy to take them down as long as you keep those things in mind. Now I usually pick up the best of these 2 sniper rifles. I usually like to be able to pick up 2 of them just in case, which I usually do, tend to go back for one of them. So drive to a point where you can hopefully keep these the passenger marine in the car. I don't do that here very well, as you'll see later on, but usually you can put him right on that rock and he won't get out. I kind of make a little bit of a mistake there and give him room to get out. And take your sniper rifle over here and definitely kill the 2 elites. And try to take out all the grunts you can find. Don't go past this point though. I'll explain that in a second. So I don't see any more elites. It looks like a grunt's going to take that position. And definitely take out this turret if it's down here. Definitely take out that turret. Whatever you do, do not leave that turret standing. As soon as you see ghosts that start to come out, go back to your car, and hopefully your rocket guy will be in the passenger seat instead of way the hell over there. I usually try to run him over. That usually does a really good job of goading him back inside the truck. Now do not go past this point. Stay right where I'm at. Now the reason why you took out that turret down there is because if you don't, your Marine will occasionally try to shoot it from here. And you can only imagine what happens next. The Warthog blows up. That's what happens next. If you stay right here and pretty much not move, this is kind of how it goes for the most part. But the main thing you're not doing by staying here is triggering the 2 wraiths. So you're not having to fend off mortar after mortar as well. And plus this is, I don't know, it's just this little clown car ghost spawn that you'll see. That's usually grunt. That's why I like to make sure and kill the 2 elites. A grunt on a ghost is a one-shot kill with the rocket launcher. As you probably know, I've said this a couple times in my videos, you don't kill the vehicle, you kill the person inside of it. So if it's an ultra, it's going to take forever to kill the ghost. If it's a grunt, it'll take usually 1 shot. Elite miners usually take just 1 shot. The red elites, sometimes 2 to 3. Sometimes if you hit them more directly than the ghost, it's usually it can be just 1. As soon as you see no more ghosts coming out of that area, then you can proceed backwards. And you want to park this Warthog such that the Marines can't get out and move it. And I'll explain that in a minute. That might work pretty well. So I think I come back over here to see if there's any more grunts in the area. Taking our time here, not moving too fast. This is not one of the harder parts of this mission, but it can be deceptively tricky if you leave a lot of enemies alive that can take those turrets. And certainly if you have Wraith Mortars being lobbed at you. So I'm going to go over to this side, and I'm going to see if there's any... Not this side, hold on. I'm just still looking at... So I go over here. Yes, there we go. And I'm going to see if there should be at least one turret over here. Sometimes there's two, and I usually like to take those grunts out as well. Again, not a big threat. This isn't like... Wow, that went down fast. So then I'll hop down right over here. I guess I didn't go back and get another beam rifle. Now there's, I think, 3 grunts and an elite in here. Sometimes it's a grunt and some grunts and jackals and an elite. So be sure and focus on taking them out. The elite's really the only big threat here. Sometimes you can stick them, sometimes not. I just line this shot up right here. Not good indeed, buddy. Now, the reason why I left that Warthog over there is because despite not seeing it at all, the Wraiths will fire at it anyway. And when they're firing at it, they're not firing over here. I've literally had a mortar go through the hole into this position. Literally. Not since I was doing this legend, I've just had that happen before. Or I would have it on the upcoming fail video, which would be a beautiful one. But I've had them hit right around here, and it almost killed me. It didn't kill me on one of my attempts, but it almost did. So I leave the Warthog over there. Plus, usually both Marines die, and what that means is that you get 2 fresh Marines. And fresh Marines are really important. And instead, we get Stacker, who somehow, someway makes it out of that death trap that I left over there. He normally does not. What upsets me is now I'm trying to hand him the sniper rifle. But he's standing right in the area where the Wraith could theoretically start mortaring. And I believe it does eventually start mortaring over here. I'm upset because I really would want to hand him the sniper rifle. What's interesting here is that since I get no Marines, it must mean that that other Marine is still alive over there somehow. Or was alive long enough. Either way, to be honest with you, I really don't care. I do not need Marines with rocket launchers on my tank to dominate. I really don't. So it's not a priority for me at all. But if I'm going to get them, I might as well have them be fresh. Alright, so this is the tank part. I don't know how much I really need to describe this. Maybe this part's important, so I like to get right there and take them out. Now you will have 2 sets of Banshees come, I guess 2 pairs of Banshees. I like to use this area here for cover. Not a wholly original strategy, but it's one I believe that is the best. And the Banshees will tend to come from over, like the way that one just did, the one I'm shooting right now. They're usually not nearly as dangerous as you would think. They don't tend to come up behind you and cause a lot of trouble. They tend to kind of fly over that structure there and become easy pickings. I think both in this case come up kind of from behind, but again, that's not as scary as it sounds. Notice that one's there, and then you'll have another one that's coming. Oh, it comes from the normal position. Alright, so I should let you know, just in case you don't, I'm using the Xbox One DVR. And so you can only record for 10 minutes, so even though this seems spliced into segments, it is all from the same run. The timer and the score can verify that. But I had to cut them all together to make one video. And I left a little bit of that pause in just so it didn't look funky, and so I could explain what was happening. So we take out the Banshees, as you saw there. Really not that big of a deal unless you're out in the open. Now you're going to get a bunch of ghosts throughout the rest of this area. Again, really, unless you really aren't comfortable in the Scorpion, this is the fun part. Plus we get a Heretic Hero, or this new rendition I believe called Zealous Champion. from the Anniversary Edition, which is, in my opinion, an absolutely excellent remake of the original. You'll see me cut a lot to the old graphics with the tank because of the geometry. Make sure that I'm definitely not hitting walls that should be there that aren't, or are there but shouldn't be. Make sure you get an overkill. There's only a couple things that really scare me in the Scorpion, and one of them is infantry, especially grunts, but any infantry. So when you shoot over there, make sure you get an overkill. And make sure it's all those enemies, otherwise Straggler might throw a grenade and end all your fun. So you need to be very careful. These turrets over here are the stationary turrets, the boring old hard to see ones. Well, those boring old hard to see ones are by far most dangerous of the two types of turrets. The ones with the shields are child's play. These will eat you alive in less than a couple seconds, even in the tank. But feel free to focus on the ghosts initially. So we take out that one, and then there's one that's kind of around that bush there. You just want to make sure and take it out as soon as possible. They are relentless with them, and they're very accurate compared to the shield-looking turrets with the red bolts. Again, those are very much less dangerous. 3 Jackals there. And then you get a lot of the less dangerous turrets over here. A lot of ghosts coming through here. Again, the scariest thing is infantry. So you want to make sure that all infantry is dead. If you knock an elite out of its ghost, you want to make sure that you kill it before it gets too close. It will attempt to board the tank, or it will fire at you with a highly rapid amount of fire that it just doesn't seem to have when it's in the ghost. One of the most interesting things about Halo 2 is that when the enemies are in the ghosts, it feels the way they fire it, the accuracy, all those things. It feels just like it would be on heroic or even normal. The Banshees, on the other hand, are absolutely relentless and terrible and can kill you in less than a second. If you've ever noticed in Halo 3 on Legendary, it is the exact opposite. The Banshees don't tend to be that much of a threat at all unless they're really, really aiming and gunning down on you and you don't have a way to blow them out of the sky. The Ghost will eat you alive within less than a second. So the Ghosts in this game really aren't that big of a threat. The way they fire their weapons, all that, it just feels like it's the same across the board. When they get out and start firing their plasma rifle, like they do when you're on foot, it can end your life just as quickly. Almost just as quickly as it can as if you were on foot. So, infantry is the scariest thing when you're in the Scorpion in Halo 2. Maybe in other Halos as well, but definitely in Halo 2. And if an enemy is in a ghost, we're good. If they're on foot, then you keep your distance and blast the crap out of them. And this happens a lot with Elite Ultras. You'll eventually knock them out of that ghost, but you have to hit them so many times. Right there, we killed an Ultra that was not in its ghost. Just make sure if you see anything that looks like a little tiny something moving in the distance, that you focus on taking it out. And you should be really good in the tank. Alright, now this can be a little bit of a difficult part. I'll just do a little check here. This can be a difficult part. So when you get to a certain point on this ramp, back up and shoot to both sides of that pillar. You'll usually take out the grunts that are ready to take those really dangerous turrets over into that area. Also, at an elevated position, you can usually hit more of the elite than you do the ghost and take them out pretty fast. Notice we've got an elite on foot, and look how quickly our shields went down just from firing that plasma rifle. Much more quickly than you've probably seen us with a ghost that's been bearing down on us. Again, the scariest thing in a tank is infantry. They throw, obviously the grunts, they'll throw grenades and so forth. So anyway, enough about that. I believe these are Jackals, and there's one grunt up there that can get in that stationary turret. He will give us a little bit of trouble, but you still do have to focus on the elites here with their ghosts. Notice how I stayed far enough back so that turret couldn't be too dangerous for us while we were taking out the ghosts. I stayed up on this level as much as I could. So I usually like to do a lap around here, make sure there are no enemies that could possibly be behind us. And I'm going to try to stick with the new graphics as much as possible. As beautiful as they are, be sure to take that turret out first. There's 2 jackals here, take them out. Again, infantry bad. There's a turret right there. And then now we're going to take out mostly ghosts for the next couple of minutes here. And we're just going to waylay them. But with the new graphics, you do tend to get a lot more of textures and flashiness and all this stuff, and it can obscure things that weren't originally meant to be obscured. So if we do go to the old graphics, it's not because I like them better. It's just because it's easier to see. And just never forget, that's how the game was originally play-tested. It can be difficult once you get a big pile of ghosts there and they all got their blue flaming stuff all around. It can be very hard to see through all that. So if you're having any trouble at all with visibility and you're going with the new graphics, I advise going to the old graphics or playing on a lower difficulty. If they're not coming out, then just shoot something, and they'll usually start coming pretty soon. If they don't, it's possible we cleared them out really fast, but as you can see, they're not the case. It did not feel like we had cleared out enough. There's a lot of them here. It's like a little mini game. How many ghosts can you mangle and demolish? Notice I went there because I'm pretty sure, or I thought I had knocked him out of his ghost there, and I definitely did not want to get surprised by any infantry there trying to board us. Yep, we did kill some infantry there, if you notice there, like an Elite Ultra 2, given that score. I definitely advise turning the scoring on, unless it's really too, I guess, intrusive on the screen, because it'll give you a good sense of what you've killed and or how many enemies you've killed. It gives you that little bit of extra information. So I roll right up there and pull back. By rolling up there, I trigger three grunts that come out behind that pillar. So make sure you get 3 grunt kills. That's 2, and that's 3. Again, infantry, dangerous. They don't even have a turret to fire over there. I'd rather them get on the turret because of how dangerous they are on foot. 3 jackals here. Make sure you kill all 3. If you don't kill all 3, then one will come up later on, or will almost always later on try to bother you. And again, infantry. He will fire that plasma pistol very rapidly, potentially, and take you down pretty fast, even though you're in a big piece of armor. Look how shields. Look at our shields. Just to show you, look how quickly those shields went down. And I don't even know if he. I don't even know how long he had. I mean, probably 3 seconds on us there. So you can go through the center if you want. I like to come around here just so I don't have any grunts at my back. There's one that, an ultra that tries to throw a grenade. One that's on the turret there. Notice how I'm not focused on the turret as much as I am on that other one that was free, because they'll do that. There was another one back there. I focused on it more so than I did. I'd rather almost leave the turret there and have them all, if I didn't see them, and have 4 of them, it's 4, have them hop on it. And then that way I'd know they were where they were, but you destroy the turret too quickly for that to work. Alright, so once you hear that and get to a certain point, you'll see 2 jackals and an elite here. Again, infantry, so we want to prioritize them. 2 jackals down there. If you don't kill this elite with the tank, then I usually get out of the tank to take it out. Sometimes the pelican will kill it though, but I guess I must have killed it just then. So I like to pull the tank right over here and very carefully pull it over here because you want to make sure that, you know, again, you're dealing with infantry, but this is still the best weapon against them if you come over here and just go very carefully and come out swinging.
Grenade, it's live, it's live.
Notice I'm staying far back to the point where when they do come out, I'll have a chance to see them. They really can't see a lot of me before they do come into visible range. Alright, we're getting closer and closer to off the rock, through the bush, nothing but Jackal. I'll say this much, we do not use the Marines. And in fact, I would advise against using the Marines after you, I would advise make sure they're all dead or that you've actually killed them before you jump down from the waterfall. Unless you're really, really comfortable with having the Marines. I am not at all comfortable with the Marines. It's just two RNGs. Sometimes they do a great job, sometimes they die early. The problem is what they do is they screw up the method that I use that works. So far it's worked 100% of the time. I've replicated it 4 times without dying as long as I executed it correctly. And I executed it correctly and did it right 4 times. But we'll get to it. Right now we're going to rely on our Marines to keep these infantry at bay, but I am not bothered at all or worried at all with trying to keep them alive. That's the beauty of this method. You don't have to babysit Marines. But then again, with the way I use the method, you really don't even want the Marines alive. Because again, they will... I don't know if I'll talk about it in the fail. I haven't done any voice in the fail videos, but I do have a fail where it really was very Marine related. And it wasn't, well, I have some where I have a lot of Marine friendly deaths, them killing me directly, but the best way to explain it is this. If you have a Marine down there and they're standing around like, you know, they own the place, then you're kind of led to believe that, well, there must not be any other enemies alive. I mean, if they're just standing there, not being shot at, not shooting at anything, so they can lure you into a false sense of security. Plus, you don't know which snipers they've killed. You don't know if they've got the snipers out of the positions they normally take. I'm going to show you where they go and show you how to deal with them at those positions. And I don't want the Marines to come along and possibly change them from those positions, because in the positions they are, I feel really comfortable in dealing with them. The positions they typically go to. Alright, so we do have a lot of Marines alive here, but that won't last forever. Gosh, it sure as heck didn't seem like I hit that deployable cover there. But the elite gets away for now. That's two elites I've killed with grenade splash damage. When's the last time you...
Man, you made that look easy.
It's not. Oh, thank goodness. Alright, so that's one down. Actually, rather I'm die a little bit later, but I really don't want to kill them all.
Oi! Heads up!
So make sure that that spawn is depleted. Usually it's one. Usually after the original kind of waves come through, then there's that one more with just a bunch of grunts. So if we're gonna have them with us, we might as well give them some decent weapons here. So just whatever you do, for the love of God, do not give them a rocket launcher. They will blow you up with it. Don't do it. Don't do it. And if they don't, consider yourself very lucky and fortunate. You've got a useless weapon. There you go.
Well, suit yourself, Chief.
He knows it too. He's like, really? We're gonna trade those, really? All right. So now, gosh, look at all these grenades. I've actually been playing Halo 3 on Legendary. I've finished with this series, and all I've got to do is add the voiceovers. Wow, come on. That's impossible. How did he know it was coming?
But it sure wasn't you, stupid bastards.
Chips. I've been playing Halo 3 and doing Legendary vid. I'm not going to do a made Painless version. Halo 3 is not my specialty, that's for sure, so it's going to be a different... How is that possible? It hit him right... Oh, I guess he was crouched. I could have swore. Actually, it's very important that... it's very important what happens to... I'm either on or off with those grenade sticks. I'm telling you, I'm a streaky. Streak sticker. It's very important. I think we blew that elite out of that area. He'll be back, though. He'll be back.
Heads up!
And the reason why I keep running back over there is to grab more grenades. That's actually works in our favor.
Here I come. I've got guns with me. Ah!
David Cross. There we go. It's these Marines that screw it up. That's the problem. That's the real issue. It's nothing to do with my skill. Alright, so if you'll notice, there is going to be a red dot on our mini-map that's behind and to our left, which doesn't make any sense, right? Something I've never had happen before. Not that one. Not that one. I've had a literal month-long cough laryngitis thing. I swear to God. At some point, there's that red dot. Look at him. What is that? Who is that? What could that be? Oh, man. Quick reflexes. So, never had that happen before. I'm pretty sure that one of those grenades I missed bounced him into that well or whatever that looks like a well that actually goes down to the bottom floor where we went through with our tank earlier. And he went all the way back around and found us. So thank goodness I was watching my mini-map ready for him, and otherwise I wouldn't have, and kind of was cognizant at the time that that was possible, because otherwise I would have had no clue or concept of where he came from or why he was coming from that position. That is obviously not normal. So I think we've done a pretty good job, and maybe even the Marines to some degree did a good job of tearing things up over here, so we don't have a lot of resistance left over. Get one of the Jackals there. But what we're waiting on now is the elites with carbines, and I think a couple more Jackals that come up top. Alright, there he is, and so we're going to use our sniper rifle to end its life. That's right, sir. And because we had one Marine with a sniper rifle off of the Pelican, another one we gave it to, we can run over their snipers for ammunition. So if you do have them die, it's still good to give them good weapons, especially a sniper rifle. If you're wanting to keep it, then you can run over there, where they died. And I don't know. I mean, this is, I don't know what in the world. I don't know why in the world we've got an elite hiding over here. They rarely ever hide. They're usually very aggressive. So there we stick a grenade over there somewhere. Doesn't kill anybody, but now suddenly they're all ready to go. Ugh. You definitely don't want to run out of grenades. We're going to use, or potentially use some in off the rock, through the bush, nothing but Jackal. Oh my God, you have survived 3 grenades! You're a Jackal! Die! Sorry. Got carried away there. Ooh. Okay. See if there is some ammo. Yes, so we are full with our sniper rifle, but we are almost empty on the BR, so of course we're going to go carbine pretty shortly from here on out. And the carbine is the weapon of choice for off the rock, through the bush, nothing but Jackal, just in case the sniper doesn't work. I feel much more comfortable with the carbine against the drones if I need it than I do with the BR. Seems like it takes 3 to 4 bursts. That's a lot of bullets to kill a stupid bug. So spawn these in. I always try to get that and almost never seem to, even on the lower difficulty levels. But focus on the grunts. They're the ones that can throw grenades and have needlers. And then you can take these out at your leisure. They're grenade proof over there. And we don't need to have a ton of sniper rifle ammo, so I don't mind, quote-unquote, so-called wasting some there. Alright, so yeah, just make sure you have at least a couple of grenades, because I tend to use them for a specific purpose here. Alright, the dreaded off the rock through the bush, nothing but Jackal. Alright, so knock out the punchy bag there, pick up his sniper rifle, usually using the human sniper rifle for trade, the first thing you're going to do is take out this Jackal sniper here. There's only 2 Jackal snipers in this area at first. So he's the first one. He's usually easy to take out, rarely ever attending to you. I'm looking for other enemies, but I want to see if this Jackal has come out yet. Usually the beam rifle won't goose him out. He's probably behind that stone block. So I'm going to see about killing any other visible enemies before I alert everybody to my presence when I try to take him out. Usually I focus on that elite. Now, there is some elements of how this goes that slow things down, and I'm going to try to tell you what I think I could have done to do better at speeding this up in a little bit. So I'm going to go, and you may know what this is, I'm going to go and reset the potentially very high alert level of the other Jackal sniper. And so I'm just going to run. This isn't I'm not sure if that's the shortest, but usually by running over there, we're fine. Just going over to where that block is, passing that little area. There's a little bit of loading zone there. It tends to do a good job of resetting it. Sometimes he's out. You know that you didn't alert him at all if he's not out at all. It'd be nice to have kind of alerted him though. So instead of goosing him out and hoping that he doesn't kill us, we're going to try this method. This is why we need the grenades. We get a score, so we know he's dead. So now we need to shoot every single shield Jackal and the other elite that's over there. Now I'm going to reset the alert level again just in case I didn't kill him but goosed him out of cover. For some reason, my mind at the time, I thought, well, you know, maybe I killed a shield Jackal. Maybe one had got there behind there with him. But I've never seen that before. I was just being, I think, ultra careful here, being 40 minutes into the mission. So he would have been out with those 2 grenades. So that definitely was him dying. So now we're going to look over here and see if we can't kill the elite and the shield Jackal over there. Notice our visibility is beautiful, the waterfall in the new graphics, but the visibility is much greater in the old graphics. So there is 1 or 2 shield Jackals you need to kill in order to trigger the first wave of drones. If you stay up here for that wave, you're pretty safe from them. I have literally never seen what I'm seeing now, which is an area completely absent of shield Jackals, and there's like 5 of them left. But for some reason, they all hid quite well, and I really don't want to look too far over that crevice and fall off of it. So there's an elite in there that I definitely want to kill, and 2 Jackals you definitely want to kill before you trigger another set of drones. But right now, we just need to trigger the first set of drones. The only way to do that is by killing a couple Jackals that are down there. So I really am at a loss when I was playing this because I've never seen them hide like this before. This is really cowardly and really crappy, and was one of my least favorite things about Halo 2, is how sometimes, every once in a while, you get enemies that just disappear off the face of the map, waiting to ambush you. Finally. Now, if he's the one that we need to kill, the drones will come over that hill, over the ridge over there. And that's where the first ones come, is that ridge just kind of straight forward there. But clearly he wasn't the only one, or even one of the ones I need to kill. So now I find the other one. Trying to use my aimer there, get the red dot. And here they come. Oh yes, we do a terrible job of shooting them. Trust me, we do a much better job when it counts. It's like missing a wide open shot in basketball. Sometimes it's just harder to hit those. But they're really no threat to us as long as we're up here. They don't come up this high to fire at us and shoot us. They will shoot us from down there, but all you need to do is back off. So we've got 1. We're looking to kill 4 of them. That's 2. There's that shield Jackal. Now, suddenly, he's out. Now we're out of that sniper. That's why we made sure to bring this one with us. We've got 2 drones. There's the 3rd. The fourth should be out and about and visible somewhere, but it does the same exact thing that a lot of the other enemies have done in this area, which again is not necessarily normal, which is hide. Ugh. But you really want to make sure this area is clear of everything before you proceed forward. So now these guys finally come out. So take 2 jackals out over here, usually over, around, or near that tunnel, and take out the elite. That tunnel is very, very important later on in this section. So make sure that you clear out that elite and the jackals that can be near it. You don't want any enemies left when it's time to go over there. Alright, so now we're safe to come down here, or so I thought. I kept on thinking, well, maybe I killed the drone and didn't remember it, but that's not exactly true. There is actually a drone out and about. Still can't believe he's not come out yet. This is unbelievable. I could have finished this mission in less than 10 minutes, or 10 minutes less than I did, if it weren't for these enemies hiding everywhere. Usually it's 1 or 2 jackal, shield jackals you have to goose out, but lovely. There is some mechanic where I think they can only fly around for a certain amount of time before they have to take a rest, I'm going to say. So do not jump down to there just yet until you're pretty sure that you've cleared as many enemies as possible. But the main thing you don't want to do until you're ready to is to get close to that stone block up there. Don't get close to that stone block until it's time. And you'll know when it's time, I'll tell you. Make sure and walk any weapons you want back here, behind that triangular stone outcropping or jutting. So now we are going to trigger the drones. There's 2 that come over that hill, 2 that come over closer to the left of that same hill, and we are moving backwards as we're shooting them because there are jackals that are coming out, sniper jackals, 3-shot sniper jackals and elite that are coming out from that cave. You can try to rocket launch that cave and take out the drones at the same time and probably make this easier, but I found that method to be much less consistent. You can get sniped as soon as you can miss the rocket splash damage is not as strong in Halo 2. You can miss the rocket, it's not nearly as safe as this. 1 jackal is down there on that same level or close to that same level where they came out. The other jackal is here. If you stay here, he won't fire upon you. You find his head, get the dot, and you shoot him. Stay behind this rock. And now you're going to get the hardest one, the scariest one. Now I want you to notice that I don't see where he's at. Here, you see where he's at right now? Actually, but this mistake is actually really important to point out. This mistake proves that being in this position and using only the beam rifle for those drones, the human sniper rifle might work as well, but using only the beam rifle or possibly the sniper rifle does not alert them enough, and you're far enough back that they really aren't a threat to you unless you move forward or figure out a way to make more noise or have a Marine that's going to make more noise. So now that we've got him out, he's by far the scariest one because I always know where the other one is. The first one we shot, he's always in that position as long as you do everything as I said. You don't have a Marine around to screw everything up. Now the 3rd Jackal Sniper is the safest one to kill, but I still am very careful with him. Now you remember our triangular rock? Now the Jackal Sniper is right over there in between those 2 trees. Or I don't know what that is. It looks like almost 2 trees there. I'm not sure what that is, but it's like it forms a V, so it's like a triangle. The Jackal Sniper is right in that area. That's where he's at. And if you see, he's right there. If I get a dot right here, I can kill him. If I don't get a dot, I don't shoot at him and potentially stir him up. I don't know how to reset his alert level in this area. I've never even really tried. It's really not necessary. So the only way to kill him is either A, if you get a dot back there, or B, if you scoot up a little bit forward. And it's really, again, he's not scary until much further up. So it's, you just don't go any further than what I am. Wait till you get the opening in that V in this area. Notice I'm just being very careful. This isn't a race. He's always there. As long as you do things the way I've showed you. He's always there. I don't know what happens if a Marine starts shooting at him, or if you shoot at him prematurely. I don't know what happens. I just know that if you use this method, he's always there. That's where he goes. That's his scripted spot to go if you stay back and start backpedaling whenever you trigger that spawn. Backpedal, take out the drones. The snipers go to their marks, and you take all the RNG out of killing them. Ah, I saw an eyeball. So, excuse me, we are done with Jackal snipers. If only they were the scariest thing. If only they were the scariest thing in this area. Alright. So now we're going to go get this fresh beam rifle. And we're going to keep the carbine. Fresh beam rifle and the carbine. If you want the BR, then fine. I've always found the carbine to be much more effective. So be very careful that you know exactly where you're going to get to that cave before you start going towards it. Because once you go towards it, don't stop. Jump here, jump there, keep walking. You're going to trigger the next drone wave. It's only drones if you do this path. And these drones are the most coy of the drone sets. They sometimes, it is very hard to trigger them to be aggressive sometimes. They don't tend to come in here very often at all. They are just very difficult to goose out. But in a way that makes them a little bit safer than the next set and the final set. So notice how we shoot him through that bush there. I can hear them fluttering, but I have no idea exactly where they are. I see some red dots now. Since I don't have my sniper rifle out, I just spam the carbine. That doesn't kill him, but it does keep him from being scary. So we just, and this is usually the place where I like to snipe them, right through that little crevice there. But note that that rock is movable. You can move it, which can be a good thing and a bad thing. You want it to stay a good cover. No doubt about that. So you don't want to move it too much, but you may move it a little bit to get a better shot on where you think they're going to be or land. Just don't exit the tunnel unless you know exactly what you're doing. Now, the reason I'm coming around here is to see if is to get more carbine, just somewhat anally, and maybe to see if maybe walking around or moving will goose them a little bit more. So now we get them to come out here. Oh, that's not a kill, really? Okay. Alright. Notice how quickly it took our shields down there. So we're just going to keep playing this little cat and mouse game until it dies. And notice how much we've got plenty of carbine to do this game with. There we go. So in order to trigger the next wave, which not only includes 4 drones, but also includes 2 elites and 2 shield jackals, we're going to have to do something else. But right now I was looking to see if that sniper that I saw dropped on the way here was there, but it's not. We're still good. We don't need a ton of sniper rifle here. So in order to trigger them, I always forget exactly where this magic line is. So it's right around here. You see that checkpoint? Notice how I sniped one of them, but I'm fairly quickly and fairly fast going to run right back in there. These guys are much more aggressive. So you want to get behind this stone pillar first, throw a grenade over there, get the carbine spamming going. They're quicker to take out, but you definitely want to take them seriously. That's why I say get behind that stone pillar. Don't get behind the triangular one there. And that's all the drones. Now we've got 2 elites and 2 shield jackals to worry about. And we'll be done with off the rock through the bush and nothing but jackal. Oh, thank you so much. You made this so much easier. So now we have 2 shield jackals remaining. And since we have plenty of ammo, we can spam all we want. That's off the rock through the bush, nothing but jackal. Totally RNG-less. Don't have to worry about making sure the Marines stay alive, or don't blow you up, or don't do anything else that would mess things up. I'm being uber careful. I'm like, man, maybe there's 3 elites. Did I forget? No. Never. There's never 3 elites. It's always 2. Grab you a freshie. I also grabbed this sniper rifle here, but note that in the next area there is another full beam rifle. There is plenty of BR ammo, plenty of pistol ammo, and plenty of plasma pistols once you kill all the drones. Now this is a relatively easy finale. I usually handle it like this. This is, in my opinion, a very safe way to finish off this level. So first things first, we're going to take out the last, the actual last Jackal snipers. They're just completely never a threat as long as you headshot them. I don't even know if they can shoot you from there, so just, I don't know, take them out. They're usually walking pretty slow. There's 4 drones that come out here, or 5 or something, I don't know. Just make sure they're all dead. I think it's, count them. I can't remember for sure. Notice how I didn't even jump down onto that ledge. I triggered them. Maybe I did have to jump down there and immediately jump back into this area where I can get pretty quick cover. And yes, we will be taking out all these enemies, despite the fact that it's completely and utterly unnecessary in every way. Again, full beam rifle down there. I've got the sniper rifle with 12 rounds. So completely and utterly just for fun here. This guy always gives me the most trouble. Oh, there we go. So you have 4 more that will spawn up from under the bridge. They will spawn as soon as you get onto here. So jump right back over to here. Move backwards. And be prepared to take them out from a place where you can get quick cover as soon as you need it. They usually don't hang out over there on the bridge if you start shooting at them. Sometimes they will, which is annoying, but you know. And I know there's only 4 there. So with those 4 done, I guess I didn't, just being 100% sure. Throwing grenades over there. If I don't kill them with the grenades, we'll at least goose them up. But there is no they. It is only 4. So again, full beam rifle, plasma pistols all over the place, obviously, because we've just killed all these drones. Take whatever weapons you want over here. This is not the hard part. You've got 4 elite honor guard in this area, and we're going to use the sniper rifle to take them out. Oh yeah, I did not forget about you, buddy. Alright, so yeah, again, plasma pistol BR, pistol plasma pistol, dual wielding, whatever you like. I would really love it if I could stick the first guy and stick the last guy and kill the other ones however I please. So I do not throw that accurately. I can tell.
Honor guards.
If I would have done that accurately, it would have stuck. But I noticed where my reticle was, and it was not an accurate throw. It was a hesitant throw. It's the kind of throw you have whenever you're 57 minutes into a mission and you don't want to die at the easy part. Alright, so you don't know who's going to push up here. It could be the elite with the plasma rifle, or it could be the elite with the sword. He is by far the scariest of the 2, so we're going to immediately put the pressure on him and get rid of him fast. Now, again, if you're more comfortable with different weapons, if you get in that kind of situation where he pushes up like that, then don't bring the sniper. Bring whatever you want, whatever's most comfortable. You got a plethora over there. So this is weird. I've literally never seen both fall that way before. So it's blocking our entrance here. I'm trying to knock them out of the way. I cannot. I thought they were pretty easy to move. It looks like they're possibly stuck in the geometry. And this is scary because this makes this next section... It's very important that we kill this elite because we can't retreat back out here nearly as easily. So we really need to kill this guy with this stick. So this is a clutch stick. Usually it is not. By the rings, you're dead. And that is Delta Halo on Legendary. Hopefully Painless, definitely Deathless. It took us a while, but this is a great mission. It's one to savor. 301 kills. This is Halo at its finest, in my opinion. And now with it being more painless than it's ever been before, hopefully on Legendary, hopefully you'll grow to love it too. I think what I did is I come back to the couch, I'm goofing off, and Regret starts up, and Regret is also, it is my favorite mission in Halo 2. I know, that sounds crazy, but next week you're going to find out why. I just started up Regret, decided to play a few stanzas of it before I turned it off. So I'm literally, I sit in front of the TV to play the video game in my living room. I go back to the couch, which is a lot further back, and just decided to ham it up a little bit. And I kept it on the recording because I thought it was kind of funny. Like, forget. Yeah, who knows? Hey, let's just play it for a little bit. Let's just goof off. Let's just goof around. I'm not ready to be done yet. This is actually a hint at what I do for this area. Actually, I do this. Normally, I have the what do you call it? Normally, I have the SMG and just SMG him all the way. So you going into this room, nearly die. So I'm like, how long am I gonna play this? How long am I gonna make this? Oh, they're all coming in here. Boom, boom, boom. That's right, son. What'd you think was gonna happen? All right. So yeah, just a little hint of how that goes there. But I won't go into it until next time. So, for the love of God, I hope you love this. If you didn't like this, or if you did like it, either way, please comment, like, and subscribe if you want more content. This is JP3 signing out. Have a wonderful, wonderful weekend, and thank you very, very much.